But yeah, so we're here. We're actually outside. We're filming this podcast, and it's the first time we're doing this.
Yep.
And I thought it'd be really interesting to sit down, discuss our different experiences and opinions on different topics and how people can get into the outdoors. Ella and I met hiking in Brisbane. How many years ago was this?
3.
3 years ago?
Maybe.
It must be about that.
About 3 years ago.
You had a lot more experience in the outdoors than I did at that time.
Oh, I don't know if there's a lot of it.
Well, you've done, lots
maybe a little bit more.
A little bit more multi-day treks around Australia.
Yep.
I hadn't done any, I think, at that point. Or maybe I had done a couple. But still, to this day, you've done far more of those than I have. And then we've gone down different paths.
Yes.
In the way of hiking and then what's next.
Yeah.
From
more intense exercises.
The more intense activities.
Yeah.
So I've gone more the mountaineering route, and you've gone more the thru hiking route.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something you'll continue? Are there more thru hikes on the horizon?
I would like to do as many as I can.
Yeah.
I want to do the AT.
Yeah.
I want to do the TA.
Yeah.
I want to do everything. Yeah. I want to do even the Hyson Trail.
Haven't heard of that one.
So there's 3 big ones in Australia.
Yeah.
So
3 big thru hikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Australian Alps track. And then we've got the Hyson Trail. Yeah. So
Hyson. So where's the Hyson? Because I've heard of the other 2.
I could be saying it wrong. Hyson is South Australia.
South Australia, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, wine country.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure it's South Australia.
Yeah, okay.
I'm super keen.
And for anyone that might not know, what is a thru hike?
The actual definition, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
what's your definition of a thru hike?
My definition would be anything longer than 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. I'm not sure if it's based on distance though. But yeah, I would say my general idea of a thru hike would be that.
Yeah.
2 or 3 weeks.
Long time on trail.
A few moments, yeah.
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 I remember when I first started and I was talking to someone about, I want to do a thru hike. And I'd heard the term, I was throwing it around without actually knowing what that was. And in my mind, it was like 5 days.
True, yeah.
Not realizing 5 months. No, it's not. Thru hiking, from what I'm aware of, when people talk about thru hiking, it's these massive undergoings.
Yeah, I would say more so, yeah. That's true.
So do you want to talk a little bit about yourself, how you've gotten to this point, how you've come back from the Pacific Crest Trail last year? You were the 2025 PCT walker. How did you get to that point?
Well, I started hiking when I was young, probably when I was about 10 with my family. Naturally did weekends with them, and then when I was 18, I was living in the Glasshouse Mountains at the time, and I really enjoyed the scrambling.
Yeah.
So I was scrambling a lot in the Glasshouse Mountains with my family and then friends at the time, and I could never get up them by myself. And so eventually found someone that would show me the way to get up them by myself. Did a lot more solo hiking at that point. And then about when I was 20, I did my first overnighter, and then after that I just went crazy. So yeah, done quite a few things in Australia now, a lot more on the list. But I would say, yeah, it was just like a natural progression of solo overnight hiking just around the local area and then around Australia. And then, yeah, I just saw the PCT and I was like, you beauty.
Wow.
Yeah, so love it.
Was there like a moment where you're like, yeah, I've got the experience to do a thru hike?
I was going to, so I did the Kokoda Challenge when I was 19 with some girls. So that's on the in the Gold Coast, and it's 96 kilometers. And basically after that, I was so sore. I was cooked. So my body was just gave up on me afterwards. And I was in bed. I never watched YouTube. And then I came across these thru hike videos. And so I decided then that I was going to do the Appalachian Trail. And then I didn't have the experience though. So I just had this mentality though that if someone else can do it, I can do it, and I'll gain the experience along the way.
Yeah.
So it's probably a bit of a stubborn and silly attitude, but it's got me this far, I think. Mitigate some of the risk as you can, but yeah, I just had this sense that I can I can achieve what I want if I'm
Yeah.
sensible enough, I suppose. And then stubborn enough. But yeah, I think, sorry, I forgot your question. I'm good at this
So fun. I'll go through, I'll cut that bit out. No. No, more or less I was just asking, you know, like what gave you the confidence to take that next step from like a multi-day hike where you're really close to civilization.
Yes.
That, you know, if you need a rescue, but like you've then gone 4 months or 5 months in the US. Did you look into this? Were you like, yeah, I can do that?
Truthfully, I think I go into a lot of things without looking at the risk too much.
Yeah.
Or I know previously, and this has changed over the last year, I have had this idea that I'm a bit more invincible, which is a bit silly. I'm going to be completely honest. That's a pretty silly thought process. But I've always kind of thought that way. Like, if someone else has done it, I can probably do it.
Yeah.
To an extent, of course, like mountaineering like you do, that I know that is a level far beyond where I'm at, and that would take so much more knowledge and skill and practice, whatever. But I can walk, and I know that. And I think I also had all those overnight experiences myself. So before that, I'd gone on these solo hikes, and yeah, you're on the Pacific Crest Trail, you're only so far away from towns. You're like, I think the longest I went without a town was 8 days. And mind you, that was remote, but worst case, I have my Garmin. I'm pretty stubborn. I don't think I'd ever use it. Touch wood. But I just have this idea that it's all going to work out as well.
Yeah. I think it's definitely true. I mean, there's almost putting the cart before the horse, which can be dangerous in some circumstances, of course.
Yes.
But at some point, you're going to have to be a beginner at things and learn and make those mistakes.
Yeah.
I think with anything in the outdoors, there is safety that you should take and skills that you should learn. But unless you're able to go and do courses, which not everyone can, you know, access these courses for whatever reason, or the learnings, or they don't have a network of people they can rely upon. I think most people in the outdoors do just learn from their own mistakes, right?
For sure. Yeah.
And then was this 8-day period of time further down the trail? Like, so you've already been out for a bit of time. You understood what you were doing. Yeah.
So I mean, I went into the trail thinking that I was pretty well set up. I think. But yeah, this was 2 months in. So this was going into the Sierra Nevada ranges, mountain ranges, and so that's like our first really big snow. It's where we go into like Mount Whitney if you choose to do that as well. And I did struggle with altitude sickness there. So that was actually a really tough area of the trail. I did definitely struggle there more so than other places on the trail. But I mean, I just did it anyway. I mean, I definitely that was rough.
Came out the other end?
I came out the other end. So yeah, I think hindsight is a beautiful thing as well. Going into that part of the trail, I wish I did a bit more research. I naively didn't even know how tall Mount Whitney was, like 2-3 days before I did it, which in itself can be dangerous. So definitely there's a lot that I've learned along the way. I think going into any thru hike now, I'm going to do a lot more research. I didn't even know, when I started the trail, I didn't even know where like the desert started, where it ended. I didn't know anything logistically, which again, insane. I think I was probably alone there. I think most people knew what was going on. I just knew that it was going to be a great experience. And I knew that I knew the stuff that I had in my bag was what I needed at the time. I did know the basic stuff. Yeah. And then everything else I just figured out as I went along. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's obviously so many people on the PCT too that you could get information from, or, you know, rely upon the people around you that you've met at that point.
Yes. I would say that you probably shouldn't rely on people that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did meet a guy. His trail name ended up being Rock Liquor. And so I met him on day one, Russell, great guy. And he did have a bit of a laugh at me because I was like, where's the desert? It's like, this looks like the desert, but is this a desert?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say probably just research a bit more. But yeah.
Good advice for anyone looking to do a thru hike.
Yes.
Do the research.
Yeah, do a bit more than Ella did.
Yeah. I mean, I think that goes for anything. I mean, even going into the Himalayas, you know, I knew what I was up for. I knew the skills that I needed, the gear I needed. But then I was speaking to people that are like, yeah, we're going to be going to this town at this elevation. I'm like, I haven't. Yeah. I don't know what any of that is.
For sure.
They're like, yeah, this is the town that we've just come through. I'm like, I can't tell you where we've just come from. But I think there are aspects of that may be great to know. Maybe you can be more prepared for them. But in reality, it's happening one way or another. So as long as you're able to deal with that, in my opinion, that might get me in trouble one day. But yeah. And for myself, where I was, I had a guide the whole time as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
there is that extra safety net.
Yeah.
When I have done some more solo trips, like in New Zealand, and I did a couple of little peaks, definitely did do a lot more research in those though.
Yeah.
Because one, I needed to make sure there was no glacier terrain where I was going.
Great point.
Yeah, because if there's crevasses over the glacier, that's danger zone.
Terrifying.
Not roped up with anyone.
Yeah.
That's asking for trouble, and would never undertake a trip like that. So I had to do a bit more research into the routes and making sure I knew where I was going and that I wasn't going over glacier terrain. But outside of those sorts of things, it's rock up, try.
Yeah.
You know, don't go beyond your capabilities. If it's too hard, well, understand where you're at.
For sure.
That's what I found.
I think that's where a lot of my thinking comes from. I think that if I get to a position where, like, along a trail and I go, is this wise? I think I do err on the side of caution. I was just thinking of a time recently on the Pacific Crest Trail. There was a point where I was supposed to go over like a bit of snow, hard ice, in the morning, and it just looked so sketch. So the detour around that was literally like half an hour up this mountain, back down this scree. And that in itself, the scree, was actually a bit sketchy as well, but far better than the snow. And so it's like, I would just make that way. Yeah.
And you dealt with scree before.
Yeah. But still, so super, it can be sketchy as well in itself, but better than, like, I saw someone fall. When I was looking back down the mountain, I saw someone fall on the ice. Yeah. And so it was kind of like.
And what were you using for that? I saw you had micro spikes.
Yeah, micro spikes and an ice axe.
You had an ice axe with you? Yeah. Oh, wow.
So would also recommend that you know how to use that before going on trail.
Yeah.
So
it's not as simple as just, it's like a walking pole.
No, not at all.
No, it's a little bit different.
No, yeah. That is very handy.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are even things, so recently I was putting together a post about, what can people learn to get into mountaineering before doing courses or being somewhere in the snow, because here in Australia, we don't have great conditions for it. Even the courses here do have limitations on what you can learn, because we don't have avalanche terrain. We don't have glaciers, so you can't do any crevasse rescue practice or anything like that, or just being situationally aware of crevasses. And I was thinking about, the understanding. So when I was first doing one of these peaks in New Zealand, and it was on the course, and we've come up to a ridge line, and in my opinion, it was pretty steep to a more experienced mountaineer, perhaps not. But it was pretty steep, and I was still very much getting used to the crampons. Yeah. And this is when I really recognized how much my time on different terrain had made me more aware of my footing and things, because I wasn't really sure. So there was one side of the ridgeline where there was going to be the side getting the sun, and that was quite soft. And then there was the other side of the ridgeline, which was ice. Yeah. And so depending on where you're walking, it feels different under your feet. Didn't really know, like, am I going to be slipping here? Am I not going to slip here? And then that made me a lot more aware of, wait, I've actually gained a lot of experience back home on, if I step on that dry log, wet log, mossy log, those rocks, the rocks on an incline like this, and just the different terrains that you actually get used to. Yeah. Just you understand your footing. Should I be worried about stepping there? Yeah. Do I need to check that first? Do I need 3 points of contact? Yeah. So that really made me a lot more aware of that. Yeah. But even here, unless there are places that I'm unaware of, but we don't even really have much scree.
in comparison to what I experienced over in America, nothing.
Yeah.
And even the mountain ranges over there, like,
Yeah.
it is just that the elevation is just mind blowing to me.
And Mount
Yeah.
Whitney was the highest point you got to on the PCT.
So that's not even on the PCT.
Oh, that's off the
like
PCT.
An off track.
Oh,
So
great.
you don't even have to do it.
Yeah.
Which is the beauty of it. But the tallest part is Forester Pass. And
Okay.
so that's the day after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with the altitude sickness, funnily enough,
Right.
I was so scared because then that meant, at the top of Mount Whitney, I got sick. I felt, symptoms coming on. And so I went down from there pretty quickly. And then the next day, literally doing Forester Pass, going back up to a very similar elevation. And yeah, I was a bit nervous.
Were you better the second day?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. That does make sense.
Totally.
With altitude, and you may know this as well, you may not, but it's great to go up in the day, sleep lower.
Yes.
So your body gets used to it, you come down. So that probably did help you the second day.
Yeah.
What altitude was it?
Mount Whitney was 14,000. This is feet, 14,000 feet.
Yeah, what's that convert to?
Or it's like 14 and a half feet, but I think it's about 4,200 meters.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
somewhere in
4,000
that range.
somewhere, yeah.
I don't know the conversions of any of these.
No, that's okay.
We use metric.
I know. No. I think it's about 4,000 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, 4,000, you definitely start feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first went to altitude, which was Kilimanjaro, I felt like I was feeling it already.
That?
Kilimanjaro is just under 6, so it's like 5,895 from memory.
That's insane.
That was high. That was hard. And that, I feel like I started feeling it at, under 3,000 meters.
Yes.
I
did too.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have anything here.
No.
No.
Not to that extent.
No way.
I
think what's our highest peak?
Mount Kosciuszko.
Yeah,
it's like 2,200.
It's like nothing.
Yeah, 2,200.
Yeah.
I mean, technically there is less oxygen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
In
And it's not a peak like this either. It's
no.
rolling hills.
For sure.
Yeah. Have you been up there?
I haven't yet.
Oh.
I'm so excited to though.
Well, if you do the Snowy Alps, that goes through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day.
Would you do that through the snow?
I would. I'd be so excited to. I actually tried to get into this like little giveaway.
Oh yeah.
I was like, that would be so sick.
Yeah. Send me on a trip there.
Yeah. Manifesting it.
Yeah. I'd love to do it. Yeah. Getting back to, I guess, more of the beginnings of things. I mean, we both started doing day hikes.
Yeah.
Hiking outdoors. I truly only got into the outdoors maybe 4 years ago. And since then, obviously, come quite a long way. But, I mean, can you talk me through, I guess, like your progression? Do you feel like you learned skills? Did you do courses? Like, what were like pivotal moments where you like really feel like you leveled up in your outdoor experiences?
That's such a tricky one. I feel like it was just supernatural. Like the progression was supernatural. I think different experiences like doing ultras, like even just trail running helped me. I don't know, just different experiences. They just added up over time. I would say even just doing like the Kokoda challenge, just understanding how to fuel myself properly for those kind of events. Gosh, I don't know if there's actually a point in time. I think it was just,
over time.
Yeah.
Well, even the things that you just mentioned, like understanding how your body's going to react under, massive exhaustion.
Yeah.
Long days.
Yeah.
These are things that until you get there, you don't really know.
Yeah.
Do I start bawling my eyes out when I haven't slept for 14 hours and I've been moving, or am I okay still?
Yeah.
And doing those things gives you more confidence, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in that. Do something hard. It gives you the confidence to do something harder next time.
Seek discomfort.
Yes theory, plug them.
That's actually something that we both relate on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. That's where I found so much growth.
Yes.
From doing the shit that's scary.
Yep. That's literally like what I stand for, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like completely go out of your comfort zone. And obviously with reason. Make
Yep.
sure you're going to be safe about it. But I think seeking discomfort is like the biggest thing for growth. Yeah.
They really hit the nail on the head with that one, didn't they?
Oh, they did. They
Yeah,
did really well.
They've done well with that. But even so, like I remember when we first met and you'd also gone for your skydiving license.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was something else where I was like, wow, I feel like I'm finally finding my people.
Yeah.
Like these people are outdoors hiking.
Yeah.
Because I'd be asking friends, like, hey, do you guys want to go for a hike?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So eventually it was just like, okay, well, I'll just go do these things by myself.
Yeah.
And, I have the fortune of being a 6 foot tall male. So that does help me to have the confidence to go do these things by myself. And then eventually I came across one of the accounts that you had online and you were organizing a hike, came along to that in the dark, meeting you guys in the car park in the dark.
And I think you were the only one that didn't know anyone at the time.
I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
No,
but you were the only one that didn't know anyone.
Yeah, that's right. And then we did Mount Mitchell.
Yes.
Out on the scenic rim.
Yeah.
That was such a great day.
Yeah.
Not the best views, I remember.
No, it was all overcast.
It was all overcast.
Yeah, a bit dewy.
Bit dewy. But it was great fun.
It was great.
And then I was like, wow. And you're the only person from that I still stay in touch with. But,
true. Yeah.
Because there were only a few of us. But then I was like, wow, I'm starting to meet people that are like-minded. There were a few that had their skydiving license there or had done the course. I was like, wow, this is great. And then it's like, there are people doing these things.
Yeah, for sure.
So I thought that was such a great, and that was probably a massive pivotal part too. And then I met more and more people. And as much as social media, I feel like for most of my life, I never used to actually be that social with others. Since getting into the outdoors, I have connected with other people through social media.
Yeah.
Our mutual friends, Caleb and Izzy, are a great example of that. I met them through social media and hung out, and I love those guys.
Yeah. It's all the same vibe. Yeah.
All the same vibe.
Yeah.
And they're people that have also taught me more skills. They do, I think canyoning, abseiling, talking to people. They like to go down ropes. There are others that like to go up ropes, and they've said that as well, which is really funny.
Yeah.
So I think social media is a great tool that you can use to actually meet people to get you into the space, particularly if you're not feeling comfortable to go and do an adventure by yourself. Which probably gets you to a point where you can then learn those skills in a safer manner.
Yeah.
Like a rock scramble.
Yes.
Up at the glass house.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so where did you meet the people that took you up there?
Honestly, now that we're talking about this, I would say that's a really big part of my story. I met a lot of the people that I go hiking with online. I would say most of them. So when I was about 18, I joined this group called Social Climbers and Hikers on Facebook, and it was just a bunch of mostly older people. So the guy that runs it, his name is John Willis, such a G.
Shout out John Willis.
The goat of the Glasshouse Mountains, and I think he's 71 this year.
Wow.
And so I felt like he kind of took me under his wing, and I learned how to scramble by myself through him, basically. And a lot of the people that he hikes with are like in their 40s, 50s. And so, I just joined all of the groups with them. And then after that, there was another group called Adventure As, and they're based more on the Gold Coast. And so then I joined them, and they were like more my age at the time. And I met a lot of like my long-term friends from there as well.
Yeah,
and
wow.
So, I think going with people in the start, especially for the overnight hikes, was very, very helpful. Just to have that, to get that confidence and to just learn things from their experiences as well, because some of them were a little bit older, same kind of age bracket, but it was just so helpful.
Got you outdoors.
It got me outdoors, and it was so much fun as well. Yeah. Just the same vibes. It's like, I don't know, it was just so supportive as well. You forget something, or you don't quite have the right gear, and they're just, everyone's got you.
Yeah.
Still, you can make mistakes in the right group, and
yeah. I think it's one of the big things, right? Like feeling that you're supported in doing something that's like new and scary.
Yeah.
But there's merit in doing it by yourself too.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Going into the PCT, like obviously you're going there solo, you're going there by yourself. And I've heard lots about trail families and all this. How much of it felt like you were there as a solo trip? And then how much of it was like social overwhelm?
I would say for the first 2 months, I was very much a part of a trail family.
Yeah.
And we partied and we just had every experience that we could, basically. So there was, I think we started off as a group of about 12, which was insane. And we kind of got the trail family name, the circus, pretty early on.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit of a circus. And then it kind of dwindled down a bit to about 9. And then, probably for a month and a half, it was the 9 of us.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible. Honestly, some of the best experiences ever. Some of the trail towns were like, it was just, we were partying from trail town to trail town. And so it was just incredible. But I would say after that, once I got out of the Sierras, which was going on about 2.5 months, after starting, I started doing a lot more solo, pushing the mileage, not really partying. Also financially, I was like, I have to rein it in a bit.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I would say towards the end of the hike was a bit more solo.
Yeah.
Which I was looking forward to as well. I was scared.
Yeah.
A lot. Like between the animals, people, it was a little bit scary and unnerving, but I think there's a bit of power in doing things, even if you're scared. Just overcoming it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
You gotta be scared.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta be scared.
Yeah.
Do you still feel fear when you do a lot of these
For
outdoor
sure.
experiences?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that if you don't feel fear, I would be questioning,
Yeah.
have you really considered?
Yeah.
You probably should be a little bit.
Yeah.
You should be cautious about different things. Even when I'm solo hiking, even around locally, I would say I'm not so much scared. I'm just more cautious. When I'm going overnight hiking as a solo female, there's different risks as well.
Absolutely.
And so, I just try and mitigate every possible thing that can happen as much as I can. And then, try and like be kind to my brain as well. I like have these little carabiners that I like clip on the inside of my tent. And it's just like a nice little thing for my brain to be like, I'm safe.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
well, you need
mentally.
those.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, there are so many things now that I've done in the outdoors, and it could be, an hour-long experience. It could be something that's over in a couple of minutes, like bungee jumping, where, I'm not going to blindly say I have no fear from bungee jumping.
Yeah.
But recently when I was in Vietnam, there was this, it wasn't a bridge, but call it like a bridge jump.
Yeah.
And it was maybe anywhere from 7 to 9 meters. And I've not jumped off many things. And I felt more fear from that than the bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Because I've learned to trust gear.
Yeah.
And I can put so much trust and faith in the gear. Like, I don't think the bungee cord's going to break.
Yeah.
But I guess where this comes back to with the fear aspect of the outdoors, like that jump that I did, I was like, I don't really do this. Like, what if I stuff up the landing? What if I hit the water really bad?
Yeah.
And I don't know what sort of damage would or wouldn't happen to
For sure.
me from that height. So that's something that I found really interesting, looking in of where is that fear and where don't I have that fear? Really, I think with lots of the outdoor skills and activities you can do, like, you do need to trust gear.
Yes.
Have a lot of faith in gear.
Yeah.
But then have the faith that the gear's been looked after and there's checks involved and
For sure.
that sort of thing. I mean, we both just came back from big trips. Yours was a little bit longer ago than mine was. I came back I came out of the Himalayas 2 months ago. You came back from the PCT.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that'd be going on a year now, wouldn't it?
Almost, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So where do you think you're going to go from here?
From here.
Is there like a progression from mountaineering, or are you going to go into that more?
Yeah, good question. I definitely want to continue developing my mountaineering skills. Like, there is so much more to learn. I'm really scratching the surface with the progression and the capabilities to do it on my own. And hit some of these much more serious objectives. Like, what initially piqued my interest is when I went to Kilimanjaro, because I'd done, I guess stepping back a little bit even more, I'd done the multi-day hikes in New Zealand with some friends, and that's really where I first started to be like, wow, this hiking thing's really, really, really cool. And then multi-day hikes. What other multi-day hikes are there? And found Kilimanjaro. I'd heard of Kilimanjaro. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's something I can go work on. So more or less 3 months later, I flew to Tanzania and did Kilimanjaro, and that was high altitude, and it was hard.
That's unreal.
It was hard. And at that point, I was running. I'd been hiking a lot. I think I'd done a half marathon when I went there. And then Kilimanjaro, I was like, wow, that was such an epic trip. Like, wow, like I cried when I got to the top. Or the first peak. There's sort of two different peaks. The first peak, I shed my tears, and I was like, oh my God, I've done it.
That's so gorgeous.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And the sun was rising. It was a memory I'll never forget. And and then when I came home from that, I was like, wow, high altitude, that was really cool. What else is there? Kilimanjaro is really close to the equator. So there is snow and glacier up there.
True.
But you don't need any gear.
Yeah.
Unless you do like winter. I think winter can get a little bit more extreme, or monsoon season there can be really extreme.
Yeah.
But then when I started looking more into high altitude, that's when I realized what mountaineering was. And I was like, okay, if I go high altitude pretty much anywhere else in the world, I'm going to need to learn a bit more. And so that's where that started, and looked into what courses were available. Living in Australia, there's not really a direct route of self-learning because we just don't have the terrain or environments that accommodate it. So I did a course down near Jindabyne. Yeah. And we did go up Kosi in the winter.
Cool.
Had our snowshoes on and went up, and snowshoes aren't even, as far as I'm aware, typically used because it's a lot of terrain's quite steep. Okay. And the snowshoes are really big. I think it'd be more if there was like a really long, and I could be wrong with this, but like a really long approach through the snow. Yeah. Because otherwise they're too clunky. So crampons or just boots.
What's the distinction between snowshoes, micro spikes, crampons?
Yeah, so the snowshoes are like creating a much larger surface area. Okay. So like if you have a lot of, softer snow, so you stay on top of it rather than sinking through. And then your micro spikes will just be, I've not used them myself, but just chains, right? Yeah. Chains that go over trail runners or boots or whatever. And then your crampons need to like properly click into boots. So like having a rigid boot, they couldn't just go on the Vans or go on
or trail
runners. Even just hiking boots. Yeah. I have Solomon hiking boots, and they're not rigid enough. True. So like mountaineering boots don't move. Yeah. So they can be pretty tough. But so the crampons will click into those, and then that's more when it's icy and even in some snow conditions, but not all the time. So did the course down there and learnt those things, and then went to New Zealand, did another course there and learnt so much. And for someone that doesn't live in an environment where you can just have a natural progression because your buddies might know more than you, courses were invaluable, truly. But speaking to people in New Zealand, often enough they'll learn themselves, where it's, I go hiking and then suddenly it's getting towards winter and there's snow, or I want to go over this mountain pass. Oh, I've hit the snow line. Yeah. Oh, so I've now had a bit of experience with snow. Oh, I want to go to that peak. What do I need to know? So there's more that you can just sort of learn, but here in Australia, we have to be a little bit more intentional about it. Yes. Unless money is infinitely flowing and you can go on all these different trips all the time to learn. You can pick it off the trees. Yeah, just pick your money off your little money bush over there. Yeah. But I mean, speaking of money, for myself, courses obviously cost quite a lot of money. Going for all these overseas trips cost money. I've spent a lot more money doing these things in the outdoors than just the everyday weekend adventure, isn't it? For sure. If you don't mind me asking, like what sort of costs were you looking at for gear for the PCT and, for food and those sorts of things?
I would say gear-wise, I bought it very slowly over the years. So I probably started off with gear that wasn't so great, but it served a purpose at the time. And living in Queensland, doing a lot of things locally, it wasn't too much of a problem. It just meant like a heavier pack, I was young. I don't really care about pack weight too much. And so I think I would just upgrade pretty slowly. Yeah. So pack-wise and like gear-wise, not really sure what that looks like. Yeah. Although I know it's pretty expensive right now. Looking back, I go, oh, there's a few dollars in there.
Yeah.
But I would say food-wise over there, it really depended on what was available.
Okay.
It wasn't always the greatest, truth be told. We'd go into small towns and then obviously they hike the price up. It's hard to get there. Food wasn't also like the greatest in my opinion. Lots of prepackaged foods. It served a purpose and we just had to do it for the most part, unless you had a bit more financial backing, I think, to be able to send yourself meals along the way.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people got like pre-prepared those packages of food. What do you call them?
Meals.
Dehydrated
meals.
Yes, exactly.
Those are quite expensive. That adds up.
They add up.
That was your every meal. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people would have them like a few times a week.
Yeah.
But they budgeted for that. And
sure.
Yeah. Whereas I would say I only had them when I got into the Sierras. So when I needed like a bit more sustenance, really.
Yeah.
And then we had the bear cans that came in then too. So you only had such a limited amount of space to fit all your food in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely was more expensive. It was a more expensive trip than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Mind you, I did do a lot of fun stuff along the way. So
yeah,
I made the most of it.
The cost adds up when you do more of the fun things.
Exactly. Yeah. What about you? Because you've just done, how long were you away?
I was away for just under 9 months.
Yes.
Yeah. So 4 months in New Zealand, living in a van.
Yeah.
Such an incredible experience.
Yeah.
And the nature there, and everyone you're meeting's there for the nature, more or less. And then I did my 5 weeks in Nepal.
Yeah. And
that was, Nepal's quite a reasonably affordable country. You're still paying what could be deemed as a lot for a duration of time, but then when you in reality put it in perspective of what you're getting, it's not a lot of money. We had a guide with us for the first week. My guide, actually, Lakpa Sherpa, loved that guy, and we were pretty similar in age. We were only like 6 years apart, and we got along really well. Love that guy. Still stay in touch with him from time to time. And we had 2 porters with us for the first week. So it was my buddy and I. And then after the first week, or maybe 9 days, one of our porters left us and we got rid of some bits and pieces, which we realized we didn't really need. So sorry to them for carrying some items we may not have needed for a while. And then we just had 1 porter between us and we took on more weight for the remaining 2 weeks as well, which was totally fine. And I was actually stoked to be doing that as well because I feel like I'm working harder for my goals, but I was wrecked by the end of it.
Yeah.
So, when you take into account that you're paying for these people's time and their energy, like really it's not enough. We tipped well. We tipped more than what they suggest, which I've always done. Same for Kilimanjaro. I tipped more than needed, but in comparison to what prices would be through a Western company, it's quite unbelievable the amount you pay. But so all in all, like some of the gear that I had to purchase, which wasn't just for Nepal, like I bought it for New Zealand. So like boots and ice axe crampons, different pieces like ascender or carabiners, all that included with the tour, with food, tipping, and most food's included in the tour too.
Yeah.
Unless you want to buy extra things or your teas and whatnot, you buy. For the 3 weeks, excluding flights, the insurance I got lasted for longer, but I probably spent 8 to 10 grand, somewhere in that range for the 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But like I said, some of that's the gear that I will reuse and did use prior, and not including flights and things. So it's really hard to say, like as you've also established, it's quite hard to say exactly what the spending was for that trip, but if you had the skills to do things yourself, you can do a lot more.
Yeah.
For instance, in the Himalayas, like where we went, you do need a guide for the peaks.
Yeah.
So you do need a guide for the peaks, but you don't need a guide to get you there.
Gotcha.
So our first peak was Mera Peak, which is just under 6,500. And we flew into Lukla, which is the same airport that you'd fly into for the Everest Base Camp Trail. Yeah. So we flew into Lukla, and then we had, because it took time to acclimatize, I think we summited on day 8 or 9. But we left our final tea town, I guess, which was 5,000 meters. And then we went to the high camp and then we summited the next day. But only from that 5,000 meter town do you need a guide.
Okay.
So there are some guides that are climbing guides and then there's trekking guides, and you don't need a guide to get you from Lukla to that final town.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So like if you wanted to do it cheaper, you could actually just get yourself in there. And there wasn't anything I'd say that was like technically challenging.
Okay.
I'm glad we had a guide. Navigation, you don't have to think about.
For sure.
He does know the terrain. On the way back, there had been a lot more snow. And if I were there by myself, that would have been a little bit more dicey.
Yeah.
Like nothing out of my capabilities, but to be navigating and just understanding.
Safety-wise.
Yeah, safety-wise, it was better to be with a guide. I'm glad we had
For sure.
Luckpa with us. But
so you would recommend having a guide to go from Lukla to
if you weren't super experienced in that sort of terrain, yeah. I mean, I could have done that, but I'm glad I didn't have to think about it and stress about it, and I felt comfortable with our guides
and you
wholeheartedly.
support them as well. And
yeah.
It's the whole experience as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And supporting, I mean, there's differing opinions about this and, over tourism and, like how much these people are being paid for these roles. But Luckpa was telling us that, the boys are stoked that you're here. They've got work.
Yeah.
And it was the same in Kilimanjaro. So, well, actually going back to Nepal, lots of people had cancelled their trips because of
the political state of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of Europeans had apparently cancelled trips because either flights were cancelled or they just didn't really want to be moving. So these guys were stoked to be having work.
Yeah.
And then I went to Kilimanjaro in the off season as well, and I was like, oh wow, Dustin, that's my guide, Dusty. I was like, it's really busy, and he's like, this is nothing, man.
Okay.
He's like, this is nothing. And again, like that, we had a lot of porters for that, which couldn't believe there were 6 guys to support just me to get up this mountain.
Yeah.
The amount of food is unreal. Like I'd be turning down meals where I'm like, man, this is too much, and they'd be tents and everything. Because you don't need to worry about carrying food in the Himalayas unless you go like really remote, and the tea houses are there. They cook for you. They keep all your sleeping and things. Kilimanjaro is different. They're carrying the tents and the cooking and everything and all the food.
Yeah.
And again, he was like, no, the boys are stoked, like you're here in the off season.
Yeah.
Not everyone's getting work right now, or not that sort of work. So even though, in my opinion, they're not being paid enough, it's still better pay and harder work, but better pay than, say, fishing.
Yeah.
So, like, I've spoken to Dustin, what'd you do during COVID? He just went back and fished off the coast. And same for Luckpa in the Himalayas, like he was farming through COVID.
Yeah.
So, although it's really, really challenging work, it does pay better than the alternative.
Yes. Yeah.
So, it's been really interesting to talk to these people about that.
Yeah.
Those experiences. And I don't even know how I got onto that deep into the topic. Money, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, it's really, really interesting talking to these people about their opinion on it. And there is definitely over tourism in places. And things like that. But yeah, incredibly hard workers, all these people. Yeah.
So what's next on your agenda? Mountaineering agenda.
Mountaineering, yeah. A lot of skill development has to go into this. But my buddy that I was climbing with in the Himalayas, Callum, shout out Callum, did do the TA, or he did the South Island of the TA anyway.
That's pretty common, I think.
Pretty common for a thru hike to skip the North Island there. A lot of road walking, I've heard.
I've heard that too, yeah.
Did do the South Island of the TA and has done a lot of adventures over there. But so we went to the Himalayas together and we met at the mountaineering course in Jindabyne.
That's awesome.
So we met down there. We'd only met the one time before we've gone to the Himalayas together.
That's wicked.
Yeah, so Callum and I got along so well. And we want to do Ama Dablam.
What is that?
Ama Dablam is 6,800 and change meters tall in the Himalayas. We walk past it off the Everest Base Camp Trail. It's also, I'd say, a pretty common mountain for climbers, but far more technical than anything I did.
Yeah, okay.
And there's a lot more high camps. From memory, I think there's 3 or 4, and I could be wrong with that.
And you're going up and then down and then back up? Yes. Okay.
No, that
no,
one,
not
I
quite.
think you go slow enough. I could be wrong. This is where I don't do enough research. I just get there and,
yeah.
you know,
You've got the guide though. I think that does help.
Yeah, the guide definitely helps.
Yeah.
You know, I could, if I was trying to do it by myself, I'd do a lot more research than what that is.
Yeah.
But having the guides there
helps.
Yeah, they look after you, but you know, it's still incredibly strenuous.
Yes. How dangerous are we talking?
Well, I guess that
It's quite a
depends on,
lot
I
of
guess,
risk.
your experience going into it.
Yeah.
Altitude wise, you could absolutely get altitude sickness.
Yeah.
Or haze or hape.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, people don't make it to Everest Base Camp, which is 5,300. You know, and everyone's different. You know, Callum didn't feel the effects of the altitude as much as I did, and that was his first time to altitude. So, you know, that's quite interesting. It can vary from time to time as well, that I've heard. You could go to the same altitude you've been to before and react differently another time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, danger in the way of the altitude, the weather is a bit more extreme, technically far more challenging than any of the ones that I did. So it's much more of a climb.
Yeah, gotcha.
A climb.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ama de Blum, we'd love to do at the end of next year. Whether or not that comes to fruition, and if I feel like I'll be capable enough to do it, is one thing.
Of course.
And money.
Yes.
Money's a big part of it.
Money.
Money. But
starts breaking out in ABBA. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't start singing. We'll get copyright strikes.
Yeah, literally.
But between now and then, I'm working on being able to create a lifestyle that I can move around the world and chase these mountains and be in a place like Europe or New Zealand where I can develop these skills a lot easier.
A bit more access to the mountains.
Absolutely. Because otherwise it's a trip and you're taking time out and, you know, having to do these things. But to just live somewhere where I can maintain skills and like be onto it, meet people in the community more. Yeah. So I'm really working on being able to travel to these places, live more so in these places, and then develop the skills to be able to really take on some
that's awesome.
bigger peaks and tougher challenges. So
what's been your favorite adventure so far? Where do we begin?
Where do we begin? I mean, it's so hard because every time I do one, I'm like, that was my favorite. And then I do something else. I'm like, wow, that was so amazing too. My favorite.
Top 3.
Top 3. I mean, Nepal recently, absolutely. Kilimanjaro, absolutely. And I'd say my first time going to New Zealand to hike. Because that I feel like was one of these pivotal moments again, where I was with a great group of people. There were 4 of us, one of which was a buddy from school, and then one was his brother, and then my buddy's friend. And we had just this best time, and that's what really set me up. Like, wow, this is so cool. Yeah. Being in the outdoors for an extended time and to travel for it too. And that was some of my first travel experiences. Not the first, but one of. So yeah, those I'd say were the top 3. Yeah,
that's unreal.
Yeah. Do you have more? I mean, so you've done more multi-day hikes than I have. You've done quite a few around Australia. Yeah. Run us through the ones you've done.
Off the top of my head, I have a really bad memory, but Western Arthurs Traverse down in Tasmania. Hinchinbrook Island, the trail, the Thornsbourne Trail over there. That's like a remote island, got crocodiles around it. It's pretty interesting. Did that solo. It's so awesome. I can't even think of them. A lot around the Sunshine Coast hinterland. So I've done the Great Walk up there. Some of the Cooloola Great Walk with you. Yeah. Only a little snippet of it. I've done a lot of, I would say more so like day hikes. Yeah. So I've done so many day hikes. And then I do like a lot of the same overnights around our area. I've done a few down near the Blue Mountains overnights, but yeah, I can't really think of them all. I should write them down.
Have you been to Wilson's Prom?
I have also been to Wilson's Prom. That's
yeah,
another one.
down
This is
near
my
Melbourne.
memory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Down near Melbourne, I haven't been it there.
Yes.
I really want to get down there.
So we did one of my exes, that sounds awful. I've only got a few, I promise. But
yeah.
we did 4 days and it was like one of the best hikes I've ever done.
Yeah, wow.
That one is definitely on my list to go back. I've also got Great Ocean Road I want to do.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that in a few months. Yeah.
Wow, I was looking at doing that in a few months.
Oh, ...
Yeah. Maybe we'll loop back on that.
Tee up, yeah.
Yeah, we'll loop back on that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's so many out there. Even the Grampians, I really want to do that.
Yes, Grampians.
It's just like it's a bigger chunk. I should have done it when I was living there. But yeah, there's so many. It just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like we're really lucky here in Australia to get such diverse landscapes as well.
Absolutely.
Further north and west from us here in Brisbane, I really want to do Carnarvon Gorge.
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
We're going to have to tee some of these up this year, I think.
We've got a short time frame.
We do, but
we've got a short time frame. Carnarvon, I think, is only about 4 or 5 hour drive from here.
I think it's 8.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
See, this is the research that I do into my trips.
We can make it that.
We can 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Cops, it's a joke.
Yeah, it's stolen.
It's not my vehicle. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could look at that. That could be really good.
Yeah. No, there is diversity though.
A lot of diversity here in Australia, which is great.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do more extreme mountaineering.
Yes, of course.
That's where we go. Great rock for rock climbing though.
Yes.
Not that I have a vast portfolio of rock climbing.
No, me either.
But I hear we have incredible rock to be climbing, and especially down in Victoria, around Rapparees.
The Rapparees?
Rapparees.
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's in Victoria.
Okay.
I think... Well, I just got Carnarvon Gorge wrong, but I think maybe 3 hours from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Northwest-ish.
Okay.
Again, could be totally wrong with that.
I believe you.
You believe me?
Yeah.
You don't know where it is, so you can't fact check me right now. Yeah, and apparently amazing rock climbing down there.
Yeah.
Like world-renowned rock climbing. So I think we're really fortunate for the rocks that we've got.
For sure.
Here in Australia too. But anyways, because we are in the outdoors, it is starting to get dark, so we'll start packing up here. But Ella, thanks so much. If people are interested in hearing and seeing more of your PCT adventures, because I know you're currently posting through your days on Instagram of your time on the PCT, where can they find you for that?
It's just on Instagram. So I think it's Ella Jannee, ELLA, and then JA, 2 N's and 3's.
Yeah. Was it just Ella Jannee taken?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a few of us around.
Yeah, that happens. That happens. Yeah. No, it's been great to talk to you. I mean, obviously, we've got so much more that we can discuss with these topics. And if there are any questions that anyone has, please do put them in the comments, DM me, message me. I'd love to hear more about what you want to hear about. But it's been really cool to talk to you.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Good to talk to you too.
And we'll chat to you again soon.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening, guys.